Hi, my name is Bob Hill, and I'm the president of the Church of Scientology Mission of Riverdale at 308 Broadview Avenue in Toronto, Ontario. Now today we're going to be doing a Scientology sermon, as usual, but I'm going to start by going over the creed of the Church of Scientology with you first. So here we go. We of the Church believe that all men of whatever race, color, or creed were created with equal rights. That all men have inalienable rights to their own religious practices and their performance. That all men have inalienable rights to their own lives. That all men have inalienable rights to their sanity. That all men have inalienable rights to their own defense. That all men have inalienable rights to conceive, choose, assist, or support their own organizations, churches, and governments. That all men have inalienable rights to think freely, to talk freely, to write freely their own opinions, and to counter or utter or write upon the opinions of others. That all men have inalienable rights to the creation of their own kind. That the souls of men have the rights of men. That the study of the mind and the healing of mentally caused ills should not be alienated from religion or condoned in non-religious fields, and that no agency less than God has the power to suspend or set aside these rights overtly or covertly. And we of the Church believe that man is basically good, that he is seeking to survive, and that his survival alone depends upon himself and upon his fellows and his attainment of brotherhood with the universe. And we of the Church believe that the laws of God forbid man to destroy his own kind, to destroy the sanity of another, to destroy or enslave another's soul, to destroy or reduce the survival of one's companions or one's group. And we of the Church believe that the spirit can be saved and that the spirit alone may save or heal the body. That's the creed of the Church of Scientology. I hope you enjoyed it. Now today, we're going to take something from the writings of L. Ron Hubbard in the book Self-Analysis. Now, the chapter we're taking, or the information we're taking, is in regards to survival. So in this information I'm going to give you today, I would hope you could apply it and increase your survival and increase the survival of those around you. Now, interestingly enough, it's very easy to invalidate yourself. Now, when I say that, I mean it's very easy to make less of yourself than what you are actually doing. A person can be moving in a survival direction but think, oh, well, I'm not moving fast enough, or I'm not doing quite enough as I should, and well, look at those guys over there, they did better than I did. That's not correct. The important thing is that you are moving in a survival direction. If you do that, the rest of things will take care of themselves. So here we go. Now, life can be considered to have as its fundamental purpose survival in the material universe. So what do we mean by that? Well, simply as I mentioned earlier, if one is surviving, then he would find that his marriage or his relationship is doing well. He would find that he may be progressing in the field of knowledge that he's interested in. He may find he has more wealth. Now, wealth, how would you calculate that? Would you calculate it in dollars or in cents? Well, that may have something to do with it. But also his wealth may be an abundance of friendship. So it differs person to person, but nonetheless, the person would be surviving in the material universe. When one closely examines survival, he discovers that the concept embraces all the activities of an individual, just like I said, a group, a state, life itself, or the material universe. So you're covering all areas. So if let's take a guy and he's really got tons of money, but at night, instead of going home to his family and so on, he goes to a bar and he has a few drinks, and he does things which are not good for the survival of this other area in his life. So is he actually surviving? Well, you can say, wow, the guy's got a big bank account. He's got lots of money in the bank. But I'm saying to you, is he actually surviving? Is he actually surviving? Is he living? Well, if he's doing that action, which is non-survival to another area of life, then one could say his survival potential is quite low. And eventually, well, you've seen it many times, eventually he'll wind up with no money and a broken marriage, or maybe his family won't talk to him. That's not survival. So the material universe, as we know it, is composed of matter, energy, space, and time. So that's what it is. Matter. This book would be considered matter. The information in it isn't matter, energy, space, and time, but the book itself is. Now, life can then be considered to be engaged upon the conquest of matter, energy, space, and time, including other life forms, organisms, and persons. So, a conquest, you think, the first thing that may come to your mind is, you got to fight it out and conquer these areas. Well, it's not necessarily like that. The man who is in communication with all these life forms, matter, energy, space, and time, other organisms, and persons, the man who's in communication has a degree of affinity and reality while he achieves understanding with those things. And so he is surviving. However, the man who's out of communication, let's say he's out of communication to the degree that he smashes his car into a wall, well, that's not survival. Or the guy who says, well, I'm surviving, I'm controlling other people, I just push them out of my way, and he has people around him that are upset, well, he's not surviving either. But the guy who follows that simple rule of communication, affinity, and reality, he's surviving. So, if an organism or a group has been successful in handling other organisms, groups, and the material universe, its survival potential is great. Very great. If the organism has been unsuccessful, its potential is lower. Its moments of success, as its moments of pain, are highly charged. So what does that mean when you say highly charged? Well, if a guy has these areas of his life and they're turbulated, and he's caused havoc, and he might be a guy who is a successful businessman in the eyes of our world because he's got a fat bank account, but he comes out of his office and he just screams at his employees. Well, that in itself acts as a charged incident, not just for those employees that he screamed and yelled at, but for him as well, because he didn't really want to create a bad effect. It's not necessarily true. Man is basically good. So it is possible by certain processes to remove the charge from the painful incidents. In Scientology, we have a procedure that you can use to remove the emotional pain and stress from incidents so you can be restored back to your natural state. One of the ways of doing this is to lay the stress and concentration of the organism upon the times, so you're going to compare it to the times the organism was successful in surviving. And it's, like I said, it's important to keep in mind What is surviving? You know, I often have people say to me, well, I'm not doing well because I wish I could go faster at what I'm doing, and it's not going fast enough. And I say, well, you seem to be surviving a little better every day, and things seem to be improving. Well, yeah, they're improving, but I want it to go faster. Well, my answer to that is keep improving, keep doing survival actions, keep helping out those areas in your life, and you will find that it will speed up, and it will take on a life of its own, and you'll have lots more life around you. You do, and you are the creator of life. So splurge on it, enjoy it, have a good time with it. And that's today's sermon. You can get a copy of this book from my mission here in Riverdale. You'll see the phone number at the end. But I encourage you to survive. I encourage you to lead a good life. I encourage you to take advantage of the tools that are available to you. Get a copy of the book, Self-Analysis. Read it, apply it. You'll survive better. Thank you, and see you next week.